Hello everyone, Larry Satchwell here. It's the 15th of May already. Let's do a quick garden tour. Well, since I'm at the top of the hill, let's start here. Stelladoras, yet blooming. These are in more shade, afternoon shade. The Stelladoras up here are in full bloom. They are in sun all day long. This is a combination of Nicotina and Foxglove. Started in the basement. And I have a Diphyllium, I think, right here. Looking forward to that blooming. The white or the pale blue yarrow has not yet bloomed, but the darker blues have. I hope that's blue. You know I'm colorblind, so it could be purple. Got a Nicotina plant blooming down there, and we'll show you that. Some speedweed, a false indigo here that's not doing as well as the one in Ethan's garden. We'll be down there in a minute. Some more of the Nicotina plants. A lot of black-eyed Susans that aren't blooming yet. They'll be blooming shortly here. This Coreopsis right here, let me zoom in. That was really cheap at Lowe's a couple of years ago. Plants are not cheap at Lowe's anymore, even the discount ones, and I haven't been shopping there a lot lately. I've been having a lot better luck at Walmart. JM's Bee Balm right here. Going to bloom shortly. That one's really standing up nicely. This is a giant mass of daylilies that I'm not really happy with. They don't bloom very well. They're the old school kind of orange that you see at a lot of old homesteads. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those. I'd like to make room for other things there. And I think I'm going to be moving those. I tried some last fall. They are really a hard mess to move. This huge plant here is a chrysanthemum that will bloom and look like Shasta daisies in the fall. Again, a lot more black-eyed Susans, some phlox. I was able to pick this up at Walmart the other day, I think for $3. I picked the two that had the most seeds on them because this will spread. And it only blooms in the spring, so they were on sale. But they're an early bloomer, so it'll give the pollinators something in the spring. Speaking of pollinators, I don't have a homeowners association. So I've been letting my yard grow a little bit tall this month. There's a movement called No Mow May. And I've let this clover come up. There's quite a few honeybees coming to it. Not a lot of other things growing right now, blooming right now for honeybees. So I'm letting them come here at will. I'm not seeing a lot of them. They're very scarce this year. Hopefully, as the summer progresses, there'll be more. Let's go down to the garden. We'll start here at the pond. I know this looks like poison ivy, but I planted this from a seed, and it is a snail vine, and it's supposed to have beautiful flowers, and I hope it does. This is a honeysuckle called Major Wheeler, and it's supposed to bloom red. I think it should bloom this year. I bought it last year, and it was very small, but it's really done well. I have some Mexican petunia coming up here. That's JM's also. The fish see me and they expect some breakfast. I haven't fed them yet. Got some beautiful hosta back there. This iris has already bloomed, roof iris. In this box is a titmouse nest. It has two little titmice in there. She's a very protective mother. My flame Anicus is going to do well. That one up there, not so much. The blue salvia, which is a perennial, is starting to bloom. Got one right here. More yarrow. Some more phlox. And the coreopsis is looking great. Again, that was a bargain. Up there on that table, I've got some wildflowers. I can identify a couple of them. Those are the ones I've been planting in the basement. A mixed bag of seeds. I got the pollinators from Bentley Seeds when they were on sale. Oh, I did not know this was going to come back. I did not expect this. I have a little red yarrow next to my Joe Pye weed. Ah, and there's another one. Great. I was hoping to get some out of that. The foxgloves are looking great. I was able to get, again, zoom in. I bought these little clips at the dollar quarter store, and the bamboo looks like hot dog skewers for it, and held them up. I'd like them to be upright. They were falling over because they're so tall. My honey bells are doing okay. I'm hoping that they're going to take off here any day now. I have a few Shasta daisies coming up, and this is the Nicotina plant I mentioned earlier. Beautiful flowers. And that one was seeded itself. The strawberry patch of all strawberry patches, really hard to pick, but we have had strawberries after strawberries. We get a bowl about this size every other day. There's one in there, two in there. Spiderwort looking pretty. The balloon plant that I transplanted last year is fantastic, doing great. The uh, blue-eyed grass, not so much, but it's going to get taken care of here. It'll start growing faster, I'm sure. All right, on to the vegetables and fruits over here. Well, I still haven't had time to take down the framework, but I put it over here. Karen said these are the sweetest of the strawberries, and there's not very many of them in here, but this gets about 1 hour of sunlight a day. So I need to move these to where they'll get more sunlight. The potatoes are blooming, and when the potatoes start blooming, that means there's a potato in there. Maybe we can dig one up here, or at least pull it back and see what we got. Oh, I'm not going to disturb them anymore. But I know there's some fresh potatoes in there. Love them. My persimmons, look at these things taking off. I did put some slow release fertilizer in here. I've had to water the garden this week. This bed of strawberries is a June bearing. I don't remember the name, but those are about finished, whereas these are ever bearing. So we'll get a good crop off of them here, and enough to eat as you walk through the garden the rest of the summer. These peas we picked yesterday and had them for dinner. If you've never had a fresh pea, like I'm talking an hour old, you are missing something. They are like candy. They are like candy. We only had a couple servings of them, but I'm tell you what, I should. This is a pea called Mr. Big from Seeds and Such. I did not realize that it needed so much support. I didn't put anything in here except for these sticks. So next year I'm going to plant the same variety, but I'm going to put them on a trellis. Our lettuce is about gone, and Dean over at Leisurely Logan planted some the other week, and so did I the same week he did. And as he stated, it's probably too late for that. But I've got some growing under lights called Year Round from Pine Tree. I've had good luck with that. And I'm letting these go to seed. This is for the pollinators. This is a radish. This is a lettuce that's going to seed here. And that's for the pollinators. This is my fall onion crop, I'm calling it, because it's a variety called Candy. It will get the size of a tennis ball, baseball. This tomato plant's not looking great. It's a big beef, and it's got the same problems I've had lately the last few years with these curly leaves at the top. And I don't know how to get rid of that, but I'm going to let it keep going. I may not do very well. My dollar store marigold's looking great. These are onions that we use fresh in our salads. I need to support these sunflowers, and this is a tomato crop. Let me get on the other side. Our raspberries are starting to ripen. I mentioned it to Karen. She said she's already had a couple, but she loves raspberries. I don't have a bluebird nest in this box right now, but there's one up at the arena. Looked at it yesterday, 3 eggs in there so far. I am going to take this pomegranate out. It is not doing well, as you can see. So I'm going to take it down to the ground, and hopefully it'll have some suckers come up. I don't know. This yarrow is just doing great, very pretty, but it's back there hiding the iris, and the iris is already bloomed, and it's not doing any harm here. Nanny's roses are doing well, but they're about done. I'm going to cut those back drastically as well. As you can see, I've got bricks everywhere, and I've been collecting them off Craigslist and other places, and really, hopefully, track season almost over. One more track meet, and I can get to building my little brick walls here. Ethan's garden's doing well. These tomato plants are looking a lot better over here. This is a variety called Bread and Salt. Never grown those before. This flame Anicus is looking really good, and some more Nicotina plants and a volunteer marigold right there. I do have cypress vine coming up here, and it appears just two. If you're a longtime viewer, you may recall that last year, this windmill that was at one time on my father-in-law's barn in Illinois, it had been taken off and was in the loft for several years, but we brought it home. I thought it was cool. It was covered with cypress vine last year, and I finally took it off, and I was afraid that I was just spreading thousands upon thousands of cypress vine seeds all over the place, but it appears that I got away with it. This is the bee balm that was covered up with the poison ivy. I'm happy to say that my wife was successful in cleaning up my farmer's sleeves so I can put those on. It's a little overcast today, but I still have on my farmer's defensive hat. Remember, it has the PDF, is that what you call it? I had that skin cancer scare on my scalp, so I put this on every time I go to the garden. Basically, anytime I'm walking around the homestead here. This provides a lot of shade, protects the top of my ears too. Some more phlox down here. I'm going to separate these a little bit too. I put them really close together because my goal here is to have so many flowers in here that things like this weed cannot grow. This was a bargain buy last year too at one of the local nurseries, Red Hot Poker. I love Red Hot Poker, and it's doing well. It looks like I could separate it anytime, probably wait till fall, and separate that and make a much bigger patch. At that same nursery, I did buy some Mexican petunia because I didn't think mine was coming back as well as it was, but this one's been here for like 2 weeks and hasn't moved. A little disappointed. My main tomato crop over here, the Lincoln, they are doing well. No problem with the curly leaf there. So that's a variety I need to keep in mind for next year. I do need to get these labeled. Here's one of those little clamps that I got at the dollar quarter store. This variety of tomatoes is called Sugary. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like either. This is the first time I've planted it. I need to get it down here and stake these tomato cages because they would blow over in a good wind, and we're supposed to be having a thunderstorm this afternoon. But look at tons of blooms on here. And another sunflower that I need to get some support with. I've got several more sunflowers scattered throughout. This is the lettuce I planted the other week, right? The same week that Leisurely Logan planted his. These are sunflowers in the corners, marked by stakes here. I've got some radishes in here, and it looks like a very poor stand of lettuce. I plan on putting a squash vine right here, but I'm not in a real big hurry to do that. We still have plenty of squash in the freezer from last year. This beauty I picked up at Walmart the other day for $5. It had been $17.84. And I moved the sedum here. It was hanging over the front, and I wanted it to hang over the back. So I've been watering this really hard, and I think it's going to make it. Some more sunflowers back here. Going up this path, the corn is looking good. This is corn I planted, I think, 3 weeks ago, and this is planted 2 weeks ago. In between, this bed is really kind of a mess. The cats have been in it. Oh, I've got some red okra coming up here too. Well, that's a pretty thorough walk through the garden. I'm going to go feed the fish and leave you some footage of that. It's about that time of year where anybody in the United States can plant something. So even if it's in a flower pot on the patio, you can plant a flower for the pollinators. We've been enjoying salad after salad, strawberries after strawberries, and I've got a strawberry shortcake video coming up shortly, and I hope you enjoy it. So until next time, keep coming back often, and happy gardening.